The lights in the lower deck of Kepler Station buzzed and flickered like old Earth streetlights. Jinwoo Park crawled through a narrow maintenance tunnel, his tool belt clinking against the metal walls. Sweat dripped from his forehead as he worked to fix another broken cooling system. The station was always breaking down somewhere. Why do they always put the worst jobs in the darkest places? Jinwoo muttered to himself. He had been working on Kepler Station for 3 years now. It was a huge space station where aliens from all over the galaxy came to trade. But down here in the maintenance levels, it was just him and the broken machines. Jinwoo pulled himself out of the tunnel and stood up, stretching his sore back. He was about to pack up his tools when he heard something strange. It sounded like breathing, but very weak and slow. He looked around the empty cargo bay. Nothing but old boxes and metal containers. The sound came again. Soft and sad, Jinwoo followed the sound to a large shipping container in the corner. The door was slightly open. He pulled it wider and looked inside. His mouth fell open. Inside the container was the strangest creature he had ever seen. It looked like a small dragon, about the size of a big dog, but this was no ordinary dragon. Its skin was completely white, like fresh snow, and covering every inch of its body were thousands and thousands of small, gray, shell-like things. They looked like the barnacles Jinwoo had seen on old ships back on Earth. The creature's eyes were closed. Its breathing was so weak that Jinwoo thought it might be dying. The barnacles covered its face, its wings, its legs. They were everywhere. The poor thing looked like it was trapped inside a shell prison. "What the hell?" Jinwoo whispered. He had seen many strange aliens during his time on the station, but nothing like this. He kneeled down next to the container. The creature's eyes opened slowly. They were the most beautiful eyes Jinwoo had ever seen. They were silver like moonlight, and they seemed to look right into his soul. For a moment, Jinwoo felt something in his mind. Not words, but feelings. The creature was scared. It was in pain. And it was very, very alone. Jinwoo looked around the cargo bay. He was alone. No security cameras in this section. He made a decision. That would change everything. "I'm going to help you," he said softly to the creature. "I don't know how, but I'm going to help you." He checked the shipping label on the container. It was written in the flowing script of the Valtharians. Jinwoo could read a little of their language from his time working with alien tech manuals. The label said, "Genetic failure, disposal authorized." Jinwoo's heart sank. Someone had thrown this creature away like garbage. The Valtharians were known across the galaxy as a proud and perfect race. Their dragons were famous for being beautiful and smart. But this one was different. This one was white instead of the normal gold and red colors. And it was covered in parasites. So they had just thrown it away. Jinwoo carefully lifted the creature out of the container. It was heavier than he expected, but not too heavy for him to carry. The creature made a small sound like a puppy whimpering. The barnacles felt rough and cold under his hands. "It's okay," Jinwoo said. "I've got you now." He carried the creature through the empty corridors to his workshop. His workshop was small but clean. It had all his tools and a comfortable chair where he took breaks. He had even put up some pictures of Earth to make it feel more like home. Jinwoo set the creature down on a soft blanket. He got some water and tried to give it a drink. The creature opened its mouth a little and drank. "That was a good sign. What should I call you?" Jinwoo asked. The creature looked at him with those silver eyes. Jinwoo thought for a moment. The creature was white like clouds, like the sky on a peaceful day. "Hanyul," Jinwoo said. "That means sky in my language. You look like you should be flying free in the sky, not trapped down here." Hanyul made another soft sound. Jinwoo smiled. He thought the creature liked the name. Over the next few hours, Jinwoo tried to make Hanyul comfortable. He brought food and water. He set up a heat lamp to keep the creature warm, but the barnacles were the real problem. They covered everything. How could a creature live like this? The next morning, Jinwoo went to the station's computer system. He looked up everything he could find about Valtharian dragons and barnacles. What he found made him angry. 3 days ago, a Valtharian ship had docked at the station. The security files showed them carrying a container to the cargo bay. The same container where Jinwoo had found Hanyul. They had just left it there and flew away. The computer files said that Valtharian dragons were among the smartest creatures in the galaxy. They could speak with their minds and could live for thousands of years, but they had to be perfect. Any dragon that was born different was considered a failure. Jinwoo read about the barnacles too. They were space parasites that attached to living things. Once they attached, they were almost impossible to remove. Most doctors said that trying to remove them would kill the host. Almost impossible, Jinwoo said to himself. That doesn't mean impossible. When Jinwoo got back to his workshop, Hanyul was awake. The creature looked at him with those silver eyes. Again, Jinwoo felt something in his mind. Hope. The creature was hoping that someone would finally help. Listen, Hanyul, Jinwoo said. He sat down next to the creature. Everyone else gave up on you. Your own people threw you away. The doctors say you can't be helped. But I don't give up that easy. I'm human, and humans are too stubborn to know when to quit. Hanyul moved its head closer to Jinwoo's hand. Jinwoo gently petted the only spot not covered in barnacles, a small patch on the creature's forehead. We're going to figure this out together, Jinwoo said. I don't care how long it takes. I don't care what anyone says. You're not garbage. You're not a failure. You're just different. And there's nothing wrong with being different. That night, Jinwoo stayed up late reading everything he could about barnacle removal. Most of the methods were too dangerous. But maybe, just maybe, if he was very careful and very patient, he could find a way. He looked at Hanyul, who was sleeping peacefully for the first time in who knows how long. Don't worry, friend, Jinwoo whispered. I'm not going anywhere. For 3 days, Jinwoo spent every free moment with Hanyul. He brought the creature food and water. He talked to it while he worked on his other repair jobs. Hanyul seemed to get a little stronger each day, but the barnacles were still everywhere. On the 4th day, everything changed. Jinwoo was in his workshop, carefully cleaning one of Hanyul's claws when his supervisor walked in. Keth was a tall blue alien with 4 arms and no patience for humans. Park. Keth's voice was loud and angry. What is this thing doing in your workshop? Jinwoo stood up slowly. It's just a sick animal. I'm trying to help it. Keth looked at Hanyul with disgust. This is a Valtharian dragon. A diseased one. It should be destroyed. It's not diseased, Jinwoo said. It just has parasites. I can help it. Keth laughed. It was not a nice laugh. You think you can do what Valtharian doctors cannot? You're just a human mechanic. You fix machines, not living things. Maybe, Jinwoo said, but I can try. This is foolish, Keth said. Remove this creature from the station. It has taken up space and time. You have real work to do. After Keth left, Jinwoo felt angry and frustrated. But he was not going to give up. He never gave up. The next morning, Jinwoo was surprised to find someone waiting outside his workshop. It was a young human woman with long black hair and kind eyes. She was holding a medical scanner and a bag of supplies. Are you Jinwoo Park? She asked. Yes, who are you? I'm Somin Choi. I'm a xenobiologist. I study alien life forms. I heard about your dragon. Jinwoo was suspicious. Are you here to take Hanyul away? Somin shook her head. No, I'm here to help. Can I see the creature? Jinwoo led her into his workshop. Hanyul was lying on the blanket, looking up at them with those silver eyes. Somin gasped when she saw the dragon. Oh my, she whispered. It's beautiful. Even with all those barnacles. She knelt down and carefully scanned Hanyul with her medical device. The scanner beeped and showed information on a small screen. Somin frowned as she read the data. This is very strange, she said. What's strange? Jinwoo asked. These aren't normal space barnacles. They're connected to the dragon's nervous system. They're like extra organs. Jinwoo didn't understand. What does that mean? Somin stood up and looked worried. It means removing them will be much harder than we thought. The barnacles have grown into the dragon's brain and nerves. If we remove them wrong, we could kill it. Jinwoo felt his heart sink. So there's no way to help? I didn't say that, Soman said quickly. I said it would be hard. But humans are good at doing hard things. Over the next few days, Soman visited often. She brought books and research files about Valtharian biology. She and Jinwoo studied everything they could find about the barnacles. The news was not good. Every alien doctor they contacted said the same thing. Removing the barnacles was impossible. The dragon would die if they tried, but Jinwoo refused to accept this. Look, he said to Soman one evening. I fix machines every day. Complex machines with thousands of tiny parts. If one part breaks, I don't throw away the whole machine. I find a way to fix it. But this isn't a machine, Soman said. This is a living creature. Living creatures are just very complex machines, Jinwoo said. They have parts that work together. If some parts are broken, maybe we can fix them too. Soman thought about this. You might be right, but we would need very small tools. Much smaller than anything that exists, Jinwoo smiled. Then we'll make them. That night, Jinwoo started working on the smallest tools he had ever made. He took apart microscopes and medical instruments. He used his knowledge of machinery to create tiny cutting tools and grips. Tools so small they could work between the barnacles without hurting. Word spread around the station about what Jinwoo was trying to do. Most aliens thought he was crazy. Humans always think they can fix everything, said Vex, a green alien, who worked in shipping. This dragon is broken, accept it. The Valtharians tried to save it and failed, said another alien. What makes you think a mechanic can succeed? But Jinwoo didn't listen to them. He worked 18 hours a day. He ate his meals in his workshop so he could stay close to Hanyul. He talked to the dragon while he worked, explaining what he was doing. I'm making special tools, he told Hanyul one night. Very tiny tools that can work around the barnacles. It might take a long time, but we're going to get these things off you. Hanyul seemed to understand. The dragon would move its head closer when Jinwoo spoke, as if it was listening carefully. After a week of preparation, Jinwoo was ready to try removing his first barnacle. He chose a small one on Hanyul's front leg. Soman watched nervously as Jinwoo used his tiny tools to carefully cut around the edges of the barnacle. The work was slow and difficult. Jinwoo had to stop often to rest his eyes and hands. But after 2 hours, the barnacle came free. Underneath was the most beautiful thing Jinwoo had ever seen. A single scale that shimmered like a rainbow. It was white, but it seemed to have every color of light hidden inside it. Look at that, Soman whispered. It's incredible. Hanyul made a happy sound. For the first time since Jinwoo had found the dragon, it seemed truly hopeful. One down, Jinwoo said, wiping sweat from his forehead. About 1 million to go, but he was smiling. He had proven it could be done. The aliens said it was impossible, but humans didn't believe in impossible. They believed in hard work and patience. Don't worry, Hanyul, Jinwoo said, gently touching the beautiful scale he had uncovered. We're going to free you. Every single barnacle, no matter how long it takes. And so began the longest and most important repair job of Jinwoo's life. 2 weeks passed. Jinwoo had removed 50 barnacles from Hanyul's body. It was slow work, but each day brought new hope. Where the barnacles had been, beautiful rainbow scales appeared. Hanyul was getting stronger too. The dragon could now lift its head easily and even stand up for short periods, but something else was changing. Something amazing. It started small. Jinwoo would think about getting Hanyul some water, and the dragon would look toward the water bowl before Jinwoo even moved. When Jinwoo felt tired, Hanyul would make soft comforting sounds. At first, Jinwoo thought it was just coincidence. But as more barnacles came off, the connection grew stronger. One morning, Jinwoo was working under a broken heating unit when he heard Hanyul's voice in his head. Not words, but feelings and pictures. The dragon was showing him that a wire was loose behind the unit. Jinwoo looked where Hanyul suggested and found the exact problem. Did you just help me fix this machine? Jinwoo asked out loud. Hanyul made a happy sound and nodded its head. Soman was amazed when Jinwoo told her what happened. Valtharian dragons are telepathic, she said, but they usually only communicate with other dragons. I've never heard of one connecting with a human. Maybe Haniel is special, Jinwoo said. Maybe you both are, Somin replied as the days went by. The mental connection between Jinwoo and Haniel grew stronger. The dragon began showing Jinwoo memories. Jinwoo saw Haniel as a baby hatching from an egg on a Valtharian ship, but something had gone wrong during the long space journey. Through Haniel's memories, Jinwoo saw the ship passing through a strange cloud of glowing space dust. The radiation from the cloud had changed Haniel while it was still in its egg. The radiation made Haniel's scales turn white and attracted the space barnacles, but it also did something else. It made Haniel's brain much more powerful than normal dragons. The Valtharians had seen only the white scales and the barnacles. They thought Haniel was broken. They never realized that the same radiation that made Haniel look different had also made it incredibly smart. So the barnacles came because you're so smart? Jinwoo asked one day while removing barnacles from Haniel's wing. They were attracted to your powerful brain? Haniel sent him feelings of agreement. The dragon also shared something else. As the barnacles were removed, Haniel's mental powers were getting even stronger. The barnacles had been blocking the dragon's true abilities. This was when things started getting complicated. Jinwoo was in the middle of removing a particularly stubborn barnacle when his workshop door opened. 2 humans walked in. Jinwoo had seen them around the station but had never spoken to them before. Are you Jinwoo Park? Asked the man. He was tall with serious eyes and wore an engineer's uniform. Yes, who are you? I'm Taeyun Kim, station engineer. This is Nari Wan from the Cultural Exchange Program. We need to talk. Nari was a small woman with a worried expression. Jinwoo, you're in trouble. The Valtharian delegation knows about your dragon. Jinwoo's heart sank. How? Taeyun explained. Someone reported strange energy readings coming from this section. The station's computers detected unusual telepathic activity. The Valtharians investigated and found out about Haniel. They want the dragon back, Nari said. They're claiming it's their property, but they threw Haniel away, Jinwoo protested. That doesn't matter to them, Taeyun said. They've realized the dragon is more valuable than they thought. As if sensing the tension, Haniel stood up and moved closer to Jinwoo. The dragon was now much larger than when Jinwoo had first found it. With many barnacles removed, Haniel looked magnificent. Its white scales caught the light and sparkled like stars. Suddenly, Jinwoo felt something incredible in his mind. Haniel was reaching out with its thoughts, but not just to him. The dragon was touching the minds of Taeyun and Nari too. Both humans gasped and stepped back. What was that? Taeyun asked, his eyes wide. Haniel just spoke to you? Jinwoo said. What did it say? Nari looked amazed. It thanked us for helping you, and it showed me something. A feeling of what it was like to be abandoned and alone. Taeyun nodded slowly. I felt it too, the loneliness, the fear, and then the hope when you found it, Jinwoo. Haniel sent waves of warm feeling to all 3 humans. The dragon was showing them that it considered them family now. This changes everything, Nari said quietly. I've never heard of a dragon connecting with multiple humans at once. The Valtharians will definitely want it back now. Over the next few days, the situation got worse. Official messages arrived demanding that Jinwoo return the dragon immediately. Valtharian representatives came to the station. They offered money, threats, and legal documents, but Jinwoo had help now. Taeyun used his position as an engineer to slow down the official processes. Nari talked to other human diplomats and explained the situation. Somin documented everything that made Haniel special. The most amazing discovery came when Haniel started interacting with the station's computer systems. The dragon could somehow connect its mind to electronic devices. When the food dispenser in Jinwoo's workshop broke, Haniel fixed it just by touching it with one claw. This is impossible, Somin said, studying her scanner readings. Haniel's brain is generating some kind of energy field that can interface with technology. Is that normal for dragons? Jinwoo asked. No, this is completely new. No organic creature has ever been able to directly control technology with their mind. Jinwoo looked at Hanyul, who was now as tall as his waist. More barnacles came off. Every day, and each removal seemed to unlock new abilities. The dragon could now sense problems in machines before they broke. It could communicate with multiple humans at once. It could even make the lights in the workshop dim or brighten just by thinking about it. The Valtharians made a big mistake when they threw you away, Jinwoo told Hanyul one evening. They thought you were broken, but you're actually the most advanced dragon that ever lived. Hanyul sent him feelings of gratitude and love. The dragon also shared something that worried Jinwoo. Hanyul could sense that more Valtharians were coming. Important ones this time. They would not take no for an answer. Don't worry, Jinwoo said, gently stroking Hanyul's head. I won't let them take you. We're family now. And humans don't abandon their family. But as Jinwoo looked at the official messages piling up on his desk, he wondered if being human would be enough to protect the dragon he had come to love. Everything changed on a Tuesday morning when Hanyul's abilities suddenly exploded beyond anything anyone had imagined. Jinwoo was removing barnacles from Hanyul's back when the dragon suddenly went very still. Its silver eyes began to glow with a soft light. Then, without warning, every person on Kepler Station heard Hanyul's voice in their head at the same time. It wasn't words. It was a feeling of greeting, like a friendly hello. But it reached every single mind on the station, all 50,000 beings from dozens of different species. The reaction was immediate. Chaos. Aliens began shouting and running through the corridors. Some were scared, others were angry, a few were amazed. Emergency alarms started blaring as the station's security systems detected the massive telepathic event. In his workshop, Jinwoo felt Hanyul's panic through their mental connection. The dragon hadn't meant to reach so many minds at once. It was just as surprised as everyone else. It's okay, Jinwoo said, holding Hanyul's large head in his hands. You didn't do anything wrong, you're just getting stronger. Within an hour, Jinwoo's workshop was surrounded. Station security, alien diplomats, scientists, and news reporters all wanted to see the dragon that had touched every mind on the station. Keth, Jinwoo's supervisor, pushed through the crowd. His blue face was darker than usual, which meant he was very angry. Park, he shouted, what have you done? The entire station is in panic because of your pet. Before Jinwoo could answer, something incredible happened. Hanyul looked at the broken air recycling unit in the corner of the workshop. The unit had been broken for months, and no one could figure out how to fix it. Suddenly it started working. Perfectly. Everyone stared as Hanyul moved to the next broken machine, an old computer that hadn't worked in years. The dragon touched it gently with one claw. The computer screen flickered to life, showing data streams and system reports. How? Is it doing that? Whispered Dr. Yala, a Centauran scientist who had pushed to the front of the crowd. Soman stepped forward with her scanner. Hanyul is interfacing directly with the machine's electronic systems. It's controlling them with its mind. That's impossible, said Commander Thex, the station's Rigelian security chief. No organic being can control technology without physical connections. As if to prove him wrong, Hanyul turned its attention to the workshop's main computer system. Without touching anything, the dragon made the computer display a complete diagnostic report of every machine in the workshop. The report showed exactly what was wrong with each device and how to fix it. The crowd fell silent. This was beyond anything they had ever seen. That evening, a new human arrived on the station. His name was Seokjin Lee, and he was a senior diplomat. From Earth's Galactic Relations Council, he was a calm man with gray hair and intelligent eyes. Mr. Park, Seokjin said when they met in private, you've created quite a situation here. Jinwoo felt defensive. I just helped a sick animal. I didn't know this would happen. I'm not criticizing you, Seokjin said with a smile. What you've done is remarkable, but now we have a problem. Half the galaxy wants to claim ownership of your dragon. Seokjin explained the situation. 3 Valtharian warships were approaching the station. They carried high-ranking officials who demanded the immediate return of their property. But they weren't the only ones interested. The Zephyrian Trade Consortium had offered to buy Haniel for more money than most planets were worth. The Andromedan Science Council wanted to study the dragon. The Rigel Defense Force thought Haniel could be used as a weapon. And that's not the worst part, Seojin continued. They all want to know how you remove the barnacles. Your technique could be worth trillions of credits if it can be applied to other medical problems. Jinwoo shook his head. It's not a technique anyone can learn. It takes patience. It takes caring about the patient more than the reward. That's exactly why they can't understand it, Seojin said. Most species see Haniel as a tool to be used. They don't understand that its abilities came from the bond you two formed during the healing process. Over the next few days, demonstration after demonstration proved just how special Haniel had become. The dragon could predict when machines would break before the first signs of trouble appeared. It could fix complex problems that stumped the station's best engineers. Most amazingly, it could make any technology work better just by being near it. When Haniel was in the main computer room, the station systems ran 20% more efficiently. When it visited the medical bay, the diagnostic equipment became more accurate. Even the food dispensers produced better meals when Haniel was around. It's like the dragon is upgrading everything it touches, Soman explained to a gathering of scientists, but it's not changing the machines themselves. It's enhancing their capabilities through some kind of mental field. Dr. Yala, who had become fascinated by Haniel, had a theory. I think the dragon is communicating with the artificial intelligence systems in the machines. It's teaching them to work better. But that would mean Haniel can understand and improve any type of intelligence, said Dr. Krim, a vegan computer. Specialist, organic, artificial, anything. That's exactly what I think is happening, Soman said. The implications were staggering. If Haniel could enhance artificial intelligence systems, it could advance galactic technology by centuries. The dragon could help design better spaceships, improve medical equipment, create new forms of communication, and solve problems that had puzzled scientists for generations. Word spread across the galaxy. Every major power wanted Haniel. Some offered partnerships. Others made threats. A few tried bribes, but through it all, Haniel stayed close to Jinwoo. The dragon had grown larger and more magnificent with each passing day. Its white scales now shimmered with colors that seemed to shift like aurora lights. When it moved, its wings cast rainbow shadows on the walls. You know what's funny? Jinwoo said to Haniel one night as they sat together in the workshop, Everyone wants to own you now. They all think you're the most valuable thing in the galaxy. Haniel sent him warm feelings of amusement and love. But they still don't get it, Jinwoo continued. You're not valuable because of what you can do. You're valuable because of who you are. You're my friend. Haniel's response filled Jinwoo's mind with joy. The dragon felt the same way. Unfortunately, not everyone understood the difference between friendship and ownership. And some very powerful beings were coming to collect what they believed was theirs. The 3 Valtharian warships arrived on a Friday morning like dark storm clouds blocking out the stars. Each ship was bigger than Kepler Station itself, their golden hulls gleaming with pride and power. When they docked, the entire station shook. Jinwoo felt Haniel's fear through their mental connection. The dragon was now fully grown, standing as tall as Jinwoo's shoulder, with wings that could spread wide across the workshop. Its white scales had become so beautiful they seemed to glow with inner light. But despite its size and power, Haniel was scared of its own people. It's going to be okay, Jinwoo told Haniel. Though he wasn't sure he believed it himself, the Valtharian delegation was led by High Commander Veleth, a massive golden dragon who walked on 2 legs like a person but towered over everyone. His scales were perfect gold and red, and his eyes burned like fire. Behind him came 6 other high-ranking Valtharians, all looking proud and angry. They met in the station's main conference room. The room was packed with representatives from dozens of species, all wanting to claim some piece of Haniel or the knowledge of how to help it. Commander Veleth spoke first, his voice deep and commanding. The creature you call Haniel belongs to the Valtharian Empire. It was born on our ship from our genetic line. You will return it immediately. Seokjin Lee stood up calmly. High Commander, with respect, your people abandoned this dragon. You left it to die in a cargo container. It was defective, Veleth growled. We had no choice. And now that you know it's valuable, you want it back? Seokjin asked. The creature's value proves that our initial judgment was wrong. We are prepared to correct this mistake. From across the room, a Zephyrian trader with jeweled tentacles spoke up. The trade consortium offers 5 billion galactic credits for the dragon and the human's healing knowledge. The Andromedan Science Council will pay 10 billion, said a tall, thin alien with purple skin. This is not about money. Commander Veleth roared. The dragon is Valtharian property. As the aliens argued louder and louder, Jinwoo felt sick to his stomach. They were talking about Haniel like it was a thing to be bought and sold. None of them cared about what Haniel wanted. That's when everything changed, the lights in the conference. Room suddenly dimmed. Every computer screen in the room flickered and went dark. Then slowly, they all came back on showing the same thing, Haniel's face. Looking calm and wise, but Haniel wasn't in the room. The dragon was still in Jinwoo's workshop, 3 levels below. Yet somehow, it had taken control of every electronic system in the conference room. Citizens of the galaxy, Haniel's voice spoke from every speaker in the room. But it wasn't just sound, everyone could hear the dragon's thoughts directly in their minds, translated into their own languages. I have listened to your arguments about my fate. You speak of ownership, of value, of what use I might be to your people, but none of you have asked me what I want. Commander Veleth stepped back in shock. The creature speaks for itself? I am not a creature, Haniel continued, its mental voice growing stronger. I am not property. I am not a tool to be used. I am a living being with my own thoughts and choices. The room fell completely silent. No one had ever heard a dragon speak like this before. I was born different from my kind, Haniel went on. The radiation that changed me also gave me abilities no dragon has ever had. But my people saw only my white scales and the parasites that covered me. They decided I was worthless and threw me away to die. Images began appearing on all the screens, memories from Haniel's mind showing the loneliness and pain of being abandoned. Then a human found me. Not a diplomat or a scientist or a warrior, just a simple mechanic who fixed broken things. He saw a suffering being and decided to help, even though everyone told him it was impossible. The screens now showed Jinwoo working patiently with his tiny tools, removing barnacles one by one, hour after hour, day after day. This human could have given up when the work became hard. He could have listened when others called him foolish. But humans do not abandon those who need help. They do not give up when others say something cannot be done. Jinwoo felt tears running down his face as he watched from the back of the room. My abilities did not grow because of the radiation alone, Haniel explained. They grew because of the love and patience I received during my healing. Each act of kindness made me stronger. Each moment of care unlocked new powers within me. The screen showed the progression of Haniel's recovery, from a dying creature covered in barnacles to a magnificent dragon that could touch minds and heal machines. You cannot replicate this process by force or money. You cannot create another. Like me by studying my biology, my power comes from the bond formed between one who needed help and one who refused to stop helping. Commander Veleth found his voice. You could return to our people now. We would accept you. We would honor. Would you honor the other different ones? Haniel asked. The next white dragonborn? The next one with parasites? Would you help them, or would you throw them away again? Veleth's silence was answer enough. Haniel's image on the screen smiled. Something no one had ever seen a dragon do before. I choose to stay with the humans. Not because they are perfect, but because they do not abandon those they care about. They do not give up on the broken and different. The Zephyrian traders. Tentacles writhed in frustration. You're making a mistake. We could give you everything. You could give me everything except what I already have, Haniel replied. A family that chose me not because I was valuable, but because I needed help. Through their mental connection, Jinwoo felt Haniel's decision settle like a warm blanket around his heart. They would face whatever came next together, but as he looked at the angry faces of the alien representatives, Jinwoo knew this choice would have consequences that would echo across the entire galaxy. The silence in the conference room lasted for exactly 12 seconds. Then everything happened at once. Commander Veleth roared in anger, his golden scales flashing with rage. You're making a terrible mistake, little dragon. Humans cannot give you what your own people can. The Zephyrian trader's tentacles twisted frantically. This is madness. The profits we could share? But Haniel's voice came through the speakers again, calm and sure. I have made my choice. I will not change my mind. Then you force us to take action? Veleth growled. He activated a device on his wrist. Security teams, prepare to board the station. We will take back what belongs to us. That was when Haniel showed everyone just how powerful it had truly become. Every light on Kepler station went out for 3 seconds. When they came back on, every screen in the galaxy that was connected to the Galactic communication network showed the same message. It was Haniel's face, but now the dragon looked larger, older, and incredibly wise. Citizens of the galaxy, Haniel's voice reached every inhabited planet, every space station, every ship traveling between the stars. Today you witness something new. Today, a partnership begins that will change everything. Across the galaxy, billions of beings stopped what they were doing to listen. For too long, your species have thrown away those who are different. You abandon the weak, the strange, the imperfect. But one species does not do this. Humans see value where others see only problems. They help where others walk away. On the screens, images appeared showing Jinwoo's patient work removing the barnacles, day after day, never giving up. I invite all the abandoned ones to come to us. The dragons your people called defective, the beings your societies have rejected. Come to the humans and find what I have found, a family that chooses you not for what you can give them, but simply because you need help. Commander Veleth tried to interrupt the broadcast, but his communication systems would not respond. Haniel had control of everything electronic in the area. Furthermore, Haniel continued, I offer my abilities freely to any species that proves they can care for the abandoned ones. Help the outcasts, and I will help you advance your technology. Reject the different, and you will remain as you are. The broadcast ended, but its effects spread like ripples across the galaxy. Within days, something amazing began to happen. Dragons that had been hidden away by their families started arriving at human colonies. These were the white ones, the small ones, the ones with unusual abilities that Valtharian society had rejected. Jinwoo found himself busier than ever. Humans from across the galaxy came to learn his barnacle removal techniques. But they quickly discovered what Jinwoo already knew. The technical skill was only part of it. The real secret was patience, love, and the refusal to give up. You can't rush it, Jinwoo explained to a group of human doctors and mechanics. Each barnacle has to be removed carefully. You have to care more about the dragon than about finishing quickly. That's what makes the difference. 6 months later, the first human-dragon synthesis colony was established on a beautiful planet called New Haven. Jinwoo was chosen to be the director of the Barnacle Removal Institute, but he was much more than that. He became the teacher who showed humans how to see potential where others saw only problems. Soman became the chief researcher, studying how the emotional bonds between humans and dragons created abilities that neither species could achieve alone. Taeyun designed new tools and facilities. Nari helped other species understand what was happening and why it worked. The changes spread rapidly. Human-dragon teams began working together on projects across the galaxy. They built better spaceships, created new medical treatments, and solved engineering problems that had puzzled scientists for centuries. Other species began to take notice. The Centaurians started caring for their own rejected members and found that Haniel would help their technology advance. The Rigelians began accepting their outcasts and received the same gift, but species that continued to abandon their different ones found that their technology stopped improving. Their problems remained unsolved while their neighbors advanced. With human dragon help, Commander Velith's pride eventually cracked. 3 years after Haniel's choice, he arrived at New Haven not with warships, but with a small transport carrying 12 rejected Valtharian dragons. We would like to learn, he said quietly to Jinwoo. It was the hardest thing the proud commander had ever said. Everyone can learn, Jinwoo replied with a smile. But you have to start by caring more about helping than about being right. 10 years passed. Jinwoo was older now, with some gray in his hair, but his hands were still steady and his heart still kind. He stood in his workshop on New Haven, working alongside Haniel to repair a complex quantum engine. The dragon was magnificent now, with scales that seemed to hold entire galaxies of light. Around them, human mechanics worked with dragons of every color and size. White dragons, small dragons, dragons with unusual markings, all the ones their own people had once thrown away. Each pair worked together like old friends, their minds connected, their skills combined. Do you ever regret it? Jinwoo asked Haniel. As they carefully adjusted a delicate component, choosing to stay with us instead of ruling the galaxy? Haniel's response filled his mind with warmth and amusement. The dragon showed him a memory, the moment Jinwoo had first found it, scared and alone in that cargo container. No, Haniel's mental voice was full of love. I chose family over power. I chose love over fear. I chose the people who saw treasure where others saw trash. Jinwoo smiled and gently patted his friend's head. Well, when you put it like that, I think you made the right choice. Outside their workshop, the sounds of a thriving colony filled the air. Human children played with young dragons. Scientists of many species worked together on new discoveries. And in workshops all across the galaxy, other humans continued the work Jinwoo had started, finding value in the abandoned, hope in the hopeless, and proof that sometimes the greatest treasures are the ones others throw away. The galaxy had learned an important lesson. That strength doesn't come from perfection, but from the courage to help those who need it most. And at the center of it all was a simple human mechanic who had refused to give up on a broken dragon, and in doing so had fixed something much larger than he ever imagined.